Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Driven. I'm Rivers Pierce, and I am in Charlotte, North Carolina today with Ann Rudd. And I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us about yourself and your business, and we'll go from there.
I'm Ann Rudd in Charlotte, North Carolina with Remax Metro Realty and owner of the Ann Rudd Group. And that's a little bit about me. We specialize in the entire city of Charlotte, but our office is in South Charlotte, so that's most of where our business is. So.
And we in South Charlotte right now?
We are technically in South Charlotte, very close to uptown Charlotte, and there's not a downtown Charlotte. It's all up. I have no idea why.
Okay,
but
that's how they refer to it here.
This is uptown Charlotte. Yeah.
Uptown. There's we're downtown.
No, and I think I don't know. I have a theory, but I'm not going to put it out there. Okay. So anyway, but this is we're in the Elizabeth neighborhood right now of Charlotte. It's an older neighborhood, lots of bungalows, and I call them four squares of a colonial with a room in every corner.
Okay.
But they are expensive now, very expensive, and a lot of them have been McMansionized. So so as we drive through, you'll see. But you'll see a lot of construction. But there's there's a lot of families here, and
they're expensive because it's a in-town neighborhood.
Location.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're like a mile from uptown here.
Yeah. You can get to uptown Charlotte in like 7 minutes.
Right.
So.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, you've been a client of BoomTown for what? 4?
November will be 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
So,
about 3 years. And when you started, what was your business setup like?
It was me, myself, and I.
Really?
That was a great business.
I didn't know. It was just...
No, I was not a smart girl, but
we usually didn't sell to single
I talked
agents.
my way in.
I'm not surprised by that. You have a way of talking your way into things.
I do.
And out, probably.
I do. Yep. No, when I'm out, I'm out.
So where are you now, 3 years later?
Well, right now I'm kind of in a transition period. So I've got 5 buyer's agents. I was up to 8, and I have made a decision that I will have productive agents or no agents.
Okay.
So I have very productive agents right now, which is good. I love that. I have support for everyone. We have closing transaction coordinator. We have a marketing director, ISA, all of that. So and I am in production a little bit, but I'm trying to back out of it more and more. So my goal for the summer was just kind of tread water a little bit. Let's get through summer and all the craziness, and then spend some time this fall doing some business planning and kind of look at where we are for the next year. One of the things that we're going to be doing once school starts, because I've got a bunch of single parents on my team, is we're going to go back to a daily huddle, an hour of phone calls. One of the things that I'm really on a quest this year to for the next 6 months is to get my agents to a position where they are all making a minimum of $100,000 over the next 12 months.
Awesome.
That is my goal, and it's not about me, it's about them. And so I want, we've got plenty of leads to do it. We've got all that in place, but now it's just conversion. How do we do things better, get our processes and procedures down, and just rock it out and
awesome.
and back out. Look at what our average sales prices are, and figure out how many transactions they need every month to get to that number, because I want happy agents on my team. And I don't want people complaining and griping. I want them to be working and enjoying their life.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point for you, the way you run your team, the way you think about your team as employees and as their growth, and it's not just about them giving you a commission. It's a lot more than that. You treat it more like a family, and
I do.
But you push them hard.
I do. I mean, this is, look, I've made it in this business, and those of us that have know what it takes. I mean, I've been licensed 9 years, and I think I've done about everything. I've done REOs, I've done short sales, I've done new construction, resale market, but our business is tough. It's not easy, and I'm sure it is everywhere. We have so many new people getting their real estate
because
license.
they think it's easy.
Yeah.
And we know it's the hardest job out there, one of them.
We know what it takes.
Yeah.
And, and right now, with most of our transactions, we are doing the work on the other side.
Yeah. You're not the first person.
And so I'm kind of on a quest to make sure that my agents are as well trained as possible.
Sure.
And I want them to be happy. I want them to love what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
then it's not work so much.
I love what I do. I don't think it's a job. I got home at 8:45 last night, and I was in the office at 8 a.m. that morning. So, 12 hours, 14-hour days are not uncommon for me. But I love what I do, and it doesn't feel like a job to me at all.
Yep.
And but I don't expect my agents to work like that, but I do expect them to be productive and do their work. So
you have clearly, and I know you well, you have a really strong work ethic. And I know last time we talked, I'm not sure if we got it on camera, so I wanted to talk about it. You told me a story about how I think it was about your dad, and instilled a work ethic in you. Can you tell that story just a little bit about, was it John Deere?
Yeah, so my dad grew up in Western Maryland. He grew up on a farm, and he was the oldest of 6 kids, and he has 5 sisters. So he was really the one that worked hard. He kind of did a lot. And actually, he made sure that all of his sisters were educated before he went to college.
Wow.
So he went to the University of Maryland, met my mother, and I really think that his first love is a tractor. He loves tractors. And so he decided he got a loan from an uncle, and John Deere had a list of places where they wanted dealerships. So this was 1969. They settled on southeastern North Carolina, and he came to North Carolina not knowing anyone, and built a very strong business from big tobacco. So big tobacco is really big in southeastern North Carolina. I knew many families that was their only income, and their kids all went to college. Wives got Cadillacs every other year. They lived well. So my father's timing was great, but he was self-employed, and there was nothing to back him up except what he did. And I remember us planning to go on vacation, for a week, and we'd get there on Thursday.
Turn around and come home the next day.
Saturday,
Right.
So it's just how it was. That he always felt like, I've got to provide for my family, and he built a really, really great business. It was one of the largest dealerships on the southeast, and John Deere would have these incentive trips they'd give their dealers. Well, he did so well, they wouldn't win 2 trips, they'd win like 12. Wow. So, we've been on a Baltic Sea cruise.
Oh, right.
My cool. Sisters went to Monte Carlo. Oh. So, there are some great things about it, but I learned I didn't understand it for a long time. I didn't understand why he worked the way that he worked. I understand it now, and I appreciate it, and I'm so happy to have grown up in a house where that was it. That was everything, and we learned at the kitchen table how to run a business.
And it sounds like you passed that kind of mindset. Really it's mindset, right?
It's
a mindset of hard work. You're passing that on to your agents, and self-sufficiency as well.
Yeah.
And you obviously provide a great amount of support, but
I didn't have the support, and I wish that I had. I think I would have been able to succeed a lot sooner with having someone to say, okay, look, this is how you run a business. I learned by trial and error. Now I'm a 3rd generation real estate agent in my family, so I've seen it a lot, but I have not always seen successful.
Yeah. Well, and I would say that running a real estate business this sounds harsh, but is a fairly kind of new concept.
It is.
It's like traditionally you're just a real estate professional and you hang your license and you do your business and you work your sphere. In 2017, it's a business and it's digital, and it needs to be a well-oiled machine like you run.
That's right.
And I've been talking about this, and I think you would agree that if you're not using the technology and you're not thinking about teams and you're not thinking about it as a business that has support and operations, you're not going to win it. You can't compete anymore.
You can't compete. You're
may be in your pocket.
You're gonna be in your lane, but your lane's gonna be narrow.
Yeah, and you're not gonna scale.
That's right. You can't scale with one.
No.
There's no scalability. I'm instinctive. I mean, if I feel like something's right, I'll go ahead and do it, even if I don't think it's exactly right. Yeah. But I do think in this situation, expansion, I have to have all of my ducks in a row the right way in order for that to work. To be extremely efficient. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't have millions and millions of dollars to pump into things, and things have to be. We have to be very profitable pretty quickly.
Right.
So I have to get my things in order. But the good thing about my business, and this is how I tell people what my business is. I have an internet-based business. Mm-hmm. I run internet leads. Yes, we work our sphere. We do open houses. We do all of that. However, at the end of the day, my business runs a lot off of online leads, Zillow, all of the lead sources that we take advantage of, and I can pick that up and drop that anywhere else as long as I've got my systems in place.
And your systems include technology, obviously. BoomTown's a big piece of that.
I built my team around BoomTown.
Right. And what other tech are you using to run the business? So BoomTown's kind of the center of this ecosystem.
Yeah, BoomTown is really the center, and it's a big center because it allows for us to, it allows me to see what's going on with all of my team members. But we're able to have so much better conversations and so many better touches. I mean, I don't know who came up with the 33 touch, but it really does. I mean, that's your sphere. Whether they come in from Zillow or not, that's my sphere. It's just that my sphere has 8,500 people in it right now. Okay, so it's kind of a big freaking sphere.
Yeah.
But I have to work it the same way.
Yep.
So how do we do that? We utilize our ISAs. We utilize minimal drip campaigns. But if we have someone that we know is 2 to 3 years out, I'm not gonna kill them with emails,
right.
But they need to know that I'm here.
And so you're using our technology, BoomTown technology, to manage all of that. You've got your sphere, real tight sphere that is not that you're calling, you're taking to lunch and all. But as you work out, you need technology to make that
Absolutely.
happen. And well, that's great. I mean, so you're using that? Are you using any dialers? Using any video like BoomTown or any of those?
Oh yeah, we use BoomTown.
Okay, so you're doing video, email.
We use BoomTown, and we actually have. So that's a great one, and I get so aggravated with my agents that I don't like how I look. Trust me, you look the same. You just don't. You got something else in your head.
You just gotta go for it. I know.
And the way that you sound in your head, because of our jawbones and everything, we sound differently in our heads than we do. Outside. Just get over yourself.
Or just don't do it. But I
you
agree.
need to do it.
You need to do it.
Yeah.
I was just Katie Lance. Katie and I did a webinar just yesterday, and we were talking about that. And she was like, you just got to get over the video thing.
Screw it and do it is something I say a lot. Just do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I mean, my God, come on! I don't like to look at myself any more than anybody else likes to look at themselves, but I do it because I recognize, and I had a Zillow lead that came in yesterday. They're in the $600,000 to $800,000 range. And look, I mean, the average sales price in our MLS region is like $260,000 to $280,000. So I mean, a $600,000 to $800,000 lead coming in is it. I focus on those.
Absolutely.
I don't have to sell as much, and that's kind of my average price point. So, and I started texting with them, and they, as soon as they found out I didn't represent the seller or the house, mm-hmm. they were like, oh, okay, well, we'll call you later. And I said, that's fine. What information you want me to get? And I ended up sending them a BoomTown video through BoomTown. Mm-hmm. And they've looked at it like 35 times, which is great. So I think I picked up a buyer.
You got some engagement, and you can see that you're getting engagement.
I can see the
data is there.
Yes.
In this day and age, you just, that's how you have to operate, right? And if you saw that they looked at it once and never again, then maybe move on.
Data is everything.
Absolutely.
The information that we have. I mean, to be able to go into my database, my BoomTown database, and see that someone has been on my website 360 times in the past 365 days. Right. I'm loving that. Yeah. I have somebody yesterday that has been in the system for 2 years, just on a basic drip campaign, that sent me an email and said, "Hey, Ann, is this house close to public transportation? Because I'm from a big city and I like to use public transportation," which is funny in Charlotte. But anyway, that's another story.
In this town,
but it actually was, and I said, "Yeah, it is." And she said, "I really appreciate you sending me all this stuff." Well, I haven't sent her nothing, really. I sent her a monthly email, I think quarterly, like
right. But
market updates
listing alerts
and listing alerts.
Yeah, when those come through, those are the biggest drivers of engagement across the entire platform.
Absolutely. So we don't kill them with over communication, but those e-alerts are so critical.
I moved 2 years ago and I still open every single one I get. You want to see what's on the market. It's just natural human tendency.
And now that we can send them sold data, for all of our past clients, that's even better because they want to see what's happened in their neighborhood.
Absolutely. So all right, well, speaking of data, that's kind of shifting gears, but I'm curious to your thoughts on this, like knowing that we've got so much data at our fingertips as a consumer in 2017 and beyond, that and all the data that Zillow's aggregating and that BoomTown's aggregating. Everybody's got all of this data in real estate now, and they can do better valuations. So where am I going with this? Is this now new trend of this iBuyer kind of trend of like what OpenDoor is doing, what Redfin right there. Redfin is starting to do, I believe.
Actually, that's they are not doing really well here. So
are they not? Well, we can get into that in a second.
We can get that.
But curious, like the people that are, will say, hey, we'll make an offer on your house. Yeah, you're going to pay maybe 8-12% versus 6%, but you're going to sell in 3 days. And so I'm curious what your thoughts are on that movement and the consumers that would be willing to give up that much, that are already complaining about 6%, but here you got people that are willing to pay 8-12%. For maybe condensing that window down to 3 or 4 days?
So I think all right, so the short answer is most of our markets are really strong right now. So you're going to see, because of any half-wit like we see with agents in this part of town, you get all these new agents and they come in and they can stick a sign in the yard and the equivalent of a basket on the front porch and collect offers, and then they're a real estate agent, right? They're a realtor. So that's great. Good for you. The problem is when the market changes and shifts. So, we have all these people now that are, I'll sell your house for 1% or 2% or, I did a deal a few months ago, sold a house and the buyer used an agent that gave them 2% back. So, this agent's working for 1%. He's a hot mess. I had to do most of his work, and basically I adopted his client afterwards. Oh, gosh. Which is great, because now I have a new buyer new seller a few years down the road.
Absolutely.
So, we have all of that, but the market will change at some point. And it will push those that don't know how to shift around back. So if I'm a 1% girl, I sell your house for 1%. You're lucky if I stick a sign in the yard and use a photographer.
Right.
We're not using, you can't expect to have someone spending significant marketing dollars on your home for 1%. That is an unrealistic expectation for a seller. And for us right now, my houses that go on the market, I want between 50 and 75,000 views the first 30 days are on the market. If they're on the market 30 days, most of them aren't. Right. So if you build your business on, hey, I sell your house for 1%, great. I wish you the best of luck. But when the market shifts and prices go down, you're not going to be able to eat on 1%.
Yeah. Or even like an OpenDoor model where they're flipping it, for another maybe 5% margin or something.
That's right.
Slim. That's gonna.
And it is about margins. It's I keep an eye on what my profit margin is.
Absolutely.
A good team a good team is running on a 30 or 40% profit margin. That's a good team.
Yeah.
And if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're still selling 50 or 60 houses a year, you need to reevaluate what the hell you're doing.
You need to get some operational
or you need to just get rid of everything except yourself.
Yeah, right.
Right. So
see a lot of a lot of trend of people saying, no way do I want to be a broker when I can just run a team, because teams seem to be more profitable. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Teams can be more profitable, I actually have a different mindset, and I have a coach, and my coach even he and I have a different mindset about it. So my take on it is, look, we're going to have agents in our culture, in our world, that aren't full time. But there are a lot of good full-time agents out there that are paying through the nose for everything, and I mean office space.
Right.
And and they're still on like a 70-30 or 80-20 split.
Right.
So for me, my owner of my company will see this at some point. I at some point will go out on my own. Okay. I make no apologies for it. I'm an independent thinking girl, and I have no issues with it.
Yeah.
So, if you're profitable, you're profitable. You run your business as a business. For me, I don't see any difference between a brokerage and a team. I probably will always run my team within a brokerage, whether I own it or someone else owns it.
Sure.
But having other agents and recruiting good agents to come into your business, strong agents that help share some of the costs. I mean, even if it's minimal, if you have 25 or 50 or 75 agents, that allows you a lot more marketing dollars, and allows you to expand your world a bit, and also help more clients. So I think that if you there are certain models that you will need your team within your brokerage to make sure you're always at a profit level. But no, I think that I think what happens though is you have so much money coming into a brokerage, you forget about profit margin. You start, I don't know about you. I mean, even me, about once a year, I will call my credit card company, all of them, and have new credit cards issued. And then that way I'll start getting emails like, oh, you haven't paid this bill. So I can actually reevaluate everything that I'm spending on my credit card and thinking, all right, do I need this year?
Right.
And I do that every year.
That's data as well. Understanding your business, right?
So that's what I do, and it works for me. But I think about it a lot. I look at different models. I know a lot of agents that own brokerages that have different models.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a mega brokerage owner to have a good business.
Right. And make a good living, have good margins.
Make it.
But I think regardless, teams are here to stay.
Teams are not going anywhere. I love teams. A great team is a team where the owner is involved.
Yeah.
That stays, somewhat in production. I mean, a lot of team owners end up in operations, which is great. But someone that stays inside the ecosystem of our world,
whether they're in production or not,
right? But they still need to be there. I know some teams in Charlotte where the owner's never there,
right? And
I don't think I think that's a team destined for failure, because you have to stay plugged into your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
But teams are not going anywhere. They can pool their resources. It's a smarter way to be. I mean, most individual agents cannot spend $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 a month on Zillow or Realtor.com or all of their combined marketing systems. I'd say, and we're in this model. Most teams are going to spend between $20,000 and $40,000 a month on their in payroll and marketing and all of their systems. So, not many agents can do that.
Right. No, you have to have a team.
Yeah, you really do. You really do.
And that level of production. And that's what it takes to I mean, you run your business digitally, obviously, so you're running a lot of Zillow, you're doing paid search, you're doing Facebook, a lot of Facebook.
Really loving Facebook.
Yeah, you do a lot of Facebook. Tell me about some of the stuff you do on Facebook. You don't have to give away any secrets.
No, I just think that Facebook... So Google AdWords have gotten expensive, and Google is here to stay.
Sure.
And the data coming out of Google is crazy. I love the data.
Yeah.
And I think that the data coming out of Facebook and Google are making our marketing more and more predictive.
Oh yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I
search is so search isn't going anywhere for a long time in the sense. I mean, when somebody's looking for something, you can put an ad in front of them. It's the most straight ahead kind of marketing
if I can,
do.
you know, and at some point I'll be able to market to people that are going to sell their house in the next 60 days.
Yeah.
I know that because of all the predictive data that is being collected.
Yeah.
So, dude, go ahead. You can go. Traffic here is crazy. So, but yeah,
with Facebook,
I love Facebook.
You do a lot of, you treat it like geofarming.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so kind of how do you leverage Facebook? Because, I mean, I think you know that there's a standard just running advertising, driving people to your website, but you're doing a little more sophisticated
So
stuff
I
than
hate
that.
the mail. I mean, I think that the mail is one of the most inefficient, you know, it's not even a company. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what the U.S. mail is except a ridiculous thing that puts a crazy looking box in my front yard.
Yeah.
I hate it. And I don't love spending money where I can't track my results.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people look at a postcard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't predict a lot of that. So I don't do what I can't track.
Yep.
But I can pull a list of owners in a neighborhood or in a zip code or whatever, you know, or like this beautiful part of town, and market to them on Facebook, such as, you know, this home has just come on the market in your neighborhood, you know, or what's your home worth in Myers Park or whatever neighborhood you're in.
Very targeted message.
Very targeting.
Very targeted
I can
audience.
see. I can put in my budget. I can look at who's clicked on it. You know, the how many leads we've gotten off of it. What is our cost per lead? I mean, all of that stuff is.
What's your ROI?
What my ROI is. You know, and we've been doing this enough now that I kind of getting better with, you know, being able to predict what my you know, if I spend $100 on an ad, which I've kind of figured out anything like I spend more than $100 on an ad, I'm going to get significant leads coming in, and you know, how many true registrations from our website are we going to get, and then, you know, how many buyers are we going to actually get, and how many we're going to
You know the numbers. You can back your way into that.
I can back into it. So, and I love that I can, you know, I can target someone that has you know, within a range of a household income, okay, and someone that's been on Zillow or Realtor in the last, you know, X amount of time, you know, I can really dial into likely buyers.
Yes. Yeah. And you can weed out the people that you know are not going to be able to afford.
Well, and I can weed out real estate agents, and I can weed out, you know, So there's a lot, and on the recruiting end of that as well, I can recruit real estate agents through Facebook as well. Yeah. So there's a ton that I can do with it. I mean, I don't care what business you have right now. If you're not on Facebook, if you aren't figuring this out,
you're already lost.
You need to figure it out fast, because it's. I mean, if I kind of geek out about it because I love the fact that I can really dial into it. But the fact that I know how to do it, anybody should be able to do it if I can do it, because I have a very short attention span. But this is my business. This is what I do.
Yeah.
And if I can't, you know, if I don't spend time learning this, nobody else is going to do it. Right. And yeah, I can pay someone to do this, but I don't want to pay someone to do this because I need to run my business my way.
No, and there are certain things you do pay people to do.
Sure.
You pay us to do certain things, you know, but when it gets down into very, very specific audience marketing on Facebook, you know, listing marketing and things, I think that's something you should be doing on your own. But when you want to spend $10,000 or something, you need an agency, or you need somebody like BoomTown to be generating managing that budget for you, which is different than doing very strategic ads in blasts, you know, so,
or boosting and all the things that we can do. And you know, and I look at my database. You know, I've had it for almost 3 years, and I look at the money that I've spent over the last 3 years. You know, Google AdWords, Facebook, you know, Zillow. You know, I've got several $100,000 wrapped up in that database. That is an investment that, I mean, I don't take that lightly. No. That's a. I mean, I could buy a beach house. Come on, Rivers. So you know.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, and I think that's what people forget about, is they spend all this money and they're not thinking that they're building this huge database because they're just chasing lead, when that database is actually where the money is.
The database is where the money is. So that's something that I task my staff with every day. How can we reach the people in this database today?
Yeah. Already paid for them.
Yeah, they're here. They're here. And, let's see, when was it? So last year, I sold a house to a couple. They were the third person that registered on my website in November of 2014.
Okay. Like the third person ever.
Third person ever.
When you were watching everyone come in.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
we got another one.
Drinking off the fire hydrant, right? So, that's that, and that's what I love. I love to be able to look and see, when did they come in? Holy crap, they came in 2 years ago.
Wow. And
they're just buying.
Yeah. Everybody out there, listen to this. This is what we've been preaching for years, is the system, the technology takes care of a lot of this stuff, the marketing for you, as long as you're not spamming people, obviously. But 2-3 years later,
I got a different story with that one. I think I was spamming
alerts,
but no, we have so much technology now. I mean, it's really the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
The only limitation I have, I feel like, is kind of what's between my ears, which is a huge limitation. Okay, I don't have to tell me, but as creative as I can get.
Yeah.
And the beauty of your system is, hey, we're classified as this. We go through these steps. Yeah. Now they're classified here. They get moved here. Whatever. Yeah.
And I've been talking about this a lot too, is whether it's BoomTown or whatnot, there's a lot of technology out there that is very affordable, that has the behavioral analytics, has predictive AI, those things underneath the hood, that what it's doing is it's taking the guessing game out of who you're calling that day, or what you're doing that day. It's not just sit down and here are the 10 leads that have been on the site X amount of days, whatever that criteria is for you or your operations. You can tell your team, this is how we do it. This is what you do when you sit down. And I was talking to Tom Ferry about this a couple months ago, and he was saying, it just gets to the point where that's just it's just like breathing. Mm-hmm. You just sit down, you open BoomTown, you go to work.
That's right.
And work doesn't exist without whatever that technology.
No, and you have to really get into a routine. So like my Fridays are, call my past clients. Mm-hmm. That's what my Fridays are every Friday.
How do you prioritize those?
Well, I just set them up in BoomTown as to-dos.
Okay.
I have to just pull up my to-dos.
But just past clients within X amount of time?
No. Just whoever and except for a select few that I never want to talk to again. And we all have those. But for the most part, no, just whoever I feel like. But usually I get on a system like, all right, I'm going to talk to 10 this every week. So, and by the end of the year, I, generally don't hit everybody, but, at least you're leaving a voicemail and saying, hey, just checking in with you. Let me know how things are going.
And that conversation is just that? You just want to say, hey?
Sometimes it is. I mean, you get to know your clients. So, you end up talking about kids or family or whatever. But the great thing about the system is keeping the notes, so I don't have to remember everything about everybody. I can go back and say, hey, I knew that they moved here from California and they had 2 young kids, and all that. So, I can read back through and remember who's what, Right. But no, that's important.
But it's a routine, and that's what it's just like going to the gym or whatever it is. If you want it to work, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, you do. You have to. One of my. You can tag him on this because I've never met him, but one of the people that I really am starting to watch is this guy named John Cheplack, and he's up in Pacific Northwest, and he's a coach.
Yeah.
And he at one point was a pretty successful alcoholic, and he's walked away from that now. But one of the things he talks about a lot is you kind of have to follow your heart, but you really sometimes have to go through the motions. You're not gonna have a day every day where it's like yes, I won. You know, it's not going to always be like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, but you get up in the morning, you go make your phone calls. So you don't talk to anybody, but you make 30 phone calls. Who cares?
Right.
You just have to continue, because you're going to have those days where everybody's slamming the phone down. Everybody's not everybody's going to, you know, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every day, but you're going to have days as well that are on the opposite, where every time you pick up the phone, you're going to have a great conversation, or you're going to, you know, you're going to get
for dollars.
You're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 buyers or sellers or whatever you're calling about. So, you know, the motions sometimes, it's not really fake it till you make it, but the motions they're important.
They keep you going forward.
And you don't need to take it personally.
Thick skin.
At the end of the day, a strong real estate agent is not going to take a salary because they know how to make money.
There's a different drive.
It's a
different driver there.
They know how to put food on their table for their families, and they're not going to discount themselves.
Right.
Okay. And if you want an agent to represent you that discounts themselves, I promise you they're going to discount you.
Right.
And I don't want an agent working for me that caves because I say I want you to reduce your commission. I don't want somebody to say, okay. Well, if you're going to say okay, you're going to say okay when you're negotiating.
When you're in the trenches.
Yeah. No, I don't want that.
Do you think then, so I mean, Redfin is, you know, again, attractive in that sense. It's a stable job. I look at it as maybe the next best thing is the team, because you're coming into basically a job. You're providing them with all the infrastructure, operations, support, marketing, leads, structure,
the
training.
The biggest thing they have to do is pick up the phone, show houses, and write offers.
Right.
That's it.
And you're maybe it's not like you're just single agent out there scrapping for every single, you know, bite of food that you got. Like on the team, you're pretty stable. And
I'll give you an example. So after our conference in March, which I love, I think you need it twice a year just because it's fun. We got on this kick about taking a look at everyone's number of leads they have and getting them below 100.
Okay.
I mean,
at any given time.
At any given time. Because you and I both know that if I have 100 people I need to talk to every 30 days, holy crap.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So
meaningful conversations.
Yeah, so, and you're not going to have them. Yeah. But if you had 30 or 40 or 50, you would know what's going on in their lives, who they are, where they're going to be, what's holding them back. You're going to get to know that. So we've been on a real big kick about keeping that number below 100. I'd really like it to be below 50. Yeah. But I had agents with 3 and 4 and 500 leads in their
active.
Yeah. So tell me someone that's been in the business a year that has 500 active buyers in their database. Well, first of all, most of them don't have a database. Yeah. And second of all, you know, I mean, I'm dropping leads in my agents' laps every single day. We can look at what they're looking at online, how often they're getting online. You know, we can text them, we can email them, we can video message them. It's not rocket science. Work ethic kind of might be rocket science.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing else in our business is. But I've been with Tom Ferry for 3 years.
Okay.
I love Tom. I know Tom personally. I've gotten to know him over the years. He really helped me build my business, and without a doubt, I owe him a lot. Yeah. And anybody that knows me knows my story. I owe Tom my life. So I think that as much as we know, there's always someone who can help motivate us or help put us in a better direction. And, you know, a lot of what we do is kind of, again, between the years and stuff. There's always a lot of stuff there. So some of it not so good. So, you know, and filtering out. So, again, comes back to me and how I operate. You know, all the stuff swirling around in my life, it gets checked at the door of the office. And if agents can do that, agents can move, those are agents that can sell 8, 10, 12 houses a month, no problem.
Right.
Because they're filtering out their noise. If you can't filter out the noise, you're going to be lucky to sell 2 or 3
And that's
houses.
going to be with anything, probably.
With any business.
And so with the coaching, then, it's not just about here's how I'm going to help you build your business operationally. It's also
not
mindset
always.
and.
Sorry, it's mindset. It's mindset. It's what can we do better to make your day start better. Having a powerful morning routine. Right. I have a positive affirmations partner that I talk to every single morning at 8 a.m. And for many of us, especially women, I don't know about men, but we have this like freaking voice in our heads that talks to us all the time. I don't like that at all. And the positive affirmations have gotten that voice. It's gone.
Very cool.
I don't have that. And it it sounds goofy to say these silly things back and forth, but it really does.
Is that person here?
She's actually in Boston, and she's we joke. It's like she and I were like the least positive people we know. But it's just fun.
Yeah.
So, and I've gotten to know someone she's very important in my life now.
That's great.
So I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't change that about myself. And I also have a very strong routine in the mornings. I'm up early. I'm on a conference call at 5 a.m. Which is like 5 minutes. I roll out of
right.
I don't even actually get out of bed anymore. I just kind of roll over and hit the send button. But it helps me get going in the mornings. And
who's on that conference call?
Well, it's an East Coast thing, and we have different people that talk, and it's really just kind of a positive message to start the day.
Yeah.
So
is that how long?
5 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that.
Gotcha. Through like Tom Ferry's network or through
just real estate agents.
Cool.
And actually, I think maybe Scott Compa had something to do with it up in Jersey. You know Scott?
I know the name. Yeah.
So he, I think he was involved in that because Scott gets up at like the crack of dawn, 3:30 or something. So, having that powerful morning and a routine and being in the office at a certain time every day, and that's something that we're really going to work on implementing it with all of my agents, because if they can get that down, I swear that's half the battle.
Yeah.
Just getting it. And I've got one agent in particular that he filters in about 10 a.m. in the morning, drives me completely batty, and he is not closing as many transactions as he should because he's. I don't know about you, but at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm kind of busy.
10 o'clock in the morning, I've been up for 5 hours.
Pretty much.
You're in your kind of stride. You should be. Isn't that what they say? The first like 3 or 4 hours after you've been up, you need to be. Those are your peak times.
So that's your peak. That's your peak work time. And unless I know who's calling me, I'm not picking up the phone for a real estate agent or a telemarketer to call me, right? So, you can catch me first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
You can catch me later in the afternoon, but don't you call me at 10 or 11 o'clock and think I'm going to be in a real great mood to talk. And, one of the conversations is, well, I'm having a really hard time getting up with people. Well, you're calling them at 11 o'clock in the morning. They're kind of busy.
Yeah, that's peak work time.
Call them at 8.
That's when they're calling other people.
7:45.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to call before 8. Well, try it sometime. They're not going to come through the phone at you, I promise. But that's the kind of thing that I'm trying. Look, he can sell houses. We've established the fact that there's enough experience there to sell a house. It's not that. It's nurturing your database and reaching people.
Yeah.
You come in at 10 o'clock, you spend 2 hours on the phones, you're going to talk to 1 or 2 people maybe,
right.
And you're not going to get much business out of that. But if you vary your days, come in at 7 o'clock in the morning, get your stuff done early, get prepared, make your phone calls for an hour or two, come in at 4:30, do a couple of days of evening calls.
Right.
Trust me, it works.
Right. People. With the recession, we're coming out of that obviously, but it's kind of delayed family starts and marriages, and people are just getting out of their parents' home and things. And so we're wondering if the millennial mindset, now that they are the biggest demographic basically, has the concept of home ownership as kind of a big piece of the American dream and wealth building. Has that changed a little bit have people been kind of, soured a bit on that concept due to the last 10 years?
No, absolutely. I think that's been the case, and we also, I think that look, people live differently than they did 20 years ago or 40 years ago. It's very rare to find someone that has lived in the same house for 40 years.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Or worked the same job for 20 years.
Or
like
has
they used
worked
to
the
do.
same job for 2,
Yeah.
right? So we need to have a society that's mobile. We need to have mobility in our society. And I don't think I'll ever move away from Charlotte. If I do, I'll just go down the Isle of Palms and be your neighbor, but because I like the beach down there. But
Yeah.
I don't really want. I would not want to be tied down to a house. If I had a position where I knew I was going to be transferred or there was an opportunity somewhere else. So in that respect, I do think that we have people with a different mindset, and maybe they're not thinking about mobility. I think about it a lot, because my family moved around some for a while, but I do believe that we are going to. We already have 5 or 6 or 7 big companies in this country that are equity firms now that that own hundreds, if not thousands, of homes across the country. And I see where there being more people, or investors owning multiple properties. So I traditionally it's been somebody that maybe owned 3 or 4. I think we're going to see companies owning hundreds of them, and for that reason, I think you're going to see a decrease in the home ownership population. I think it's going to continue to decrease. I don't know what would make that change, but there's been a societal change in how people think of a home ownership.
Well, Ann, thank you so much. That has been wonderful. Beautiful day in Charlotte. Thanks for spending the time with us. We love you so much, and thanks for letting BoomTown be a part of your story. So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.